Hello everyone. In this lesson we will be talking about Elizabethan age. We will be talking about political condition of England during that age. Also we will be talking about literary features of the age and some important events and person of the age as well. We will start with some basic characteristics. The Elizabethan era, also known as Golden Age, ranges from 1550 to 1620. After the reign of Edward and Mary, with defeat and humiliation abroad and persecution and rebellion at home, the accession of a popular sovereign was like the sunrise. In the words of Milton, we suddenly see England, a noble and puissant nation, rousing herself like a strong man after sleep. So, this in this age of Elizabeth, all doubt seems to vanish from English history. Elizabeth, with all her vanity and inconsistency, steadily loved England and England's greatness, and that she inspired all her people with the unbound patriotism. Under her administration, the English national life progressed by gigantic leaps rather than by slow historical processes, and English literature reached the very highest point of its development. So, before Elizabeth came to the throne, Edward and Mary ruled, and their reign was very much disturbing for common people. There was no development because there were so many riots and rebellion within the country. So, development and improvement was a thing of far notion. But when Elizabeth came, she brought tranquility, peace, development, and happiness along with her. So, literature as well as science and personal life of people developed and improved manifold. Features of Elizabethan era. There was religious tolerance. The world saw with amazement Catholic and Protestant acting together. Reformation was established. There was a rapid increase in employment and improved lifestyle. So, religious tolerance came during Elizabethan age, and most of the credit of this happening goes to Elizabethan's influence. Upon her accession, Elizabeth found the whole country divided against itself. The court, made up of both parties, witnessed the rival intrigues of those who sought to gain the royal power. Elizabeth favored both religious parties. So that is how Catholics and Protestants started working together. For the first time since the Reformation began, the fundamental question of religious toleration seemed to be settled, and the mind of man, freed from religious fear and persecutions, turned with a great creative impulse to other form of activities. So now man concern was not on religion, so they started thinking creatively about other things. So that is how there was a rapid increase in employment, and lifestyle of people started improving. Political condition of Elizabethan era. Edward VI, he was the king from 1543 till his death. He was the son of Henry VIII and Jane Seymour. He was a supporter of Protestant church. His reign was marked by economic problem and social unrest that erupted into riot or rebellion. It was during his reign that Protestantism was established for the first time in England, with reforms that included the abolition of clerical celibacy and the mass. So he was the first ruler of this age, and he ruled till his death. He supported Protestantism, and he was the first one to brought Protestantism into England. He was not a good ruler because he was biased toward religion, and because of that there was so much disturbance during his reign. So development didn't occur that much as it should have been happened. Also, he abolished masses and clerical celibacy. People used to go to churches on Sundays that is known as mass. But when he came, he abolished all that, because according to him it was a thing, it was waste of time and money. So he abolished all that and supported Protestantism. Then came Lady Jane Grey. She is also known as Queen of 9 Days. Edward, before he died, appointed Lady Jane Grey the Queen instead of his two half-sisters, Mary and Elizabeth. He appointed her because they had same religious beliefs. She was dethroned within 9 days by Mary. So Lady Jane Grey, also known as Queen of 9 Days, because she was dethroned within 9 days. She was a cousin of Edward VI, but he appointed her the queen because they both share same religious beliefs. They both were against Catholicism and supported Protestantism. But she was dethroned within 9 days by Mary I. She fought her and she defeated her. So that is how Mary I came to the throne. Mary I. She was the Queen of England and Ireland from 1553 until her death. She was the only child of Henry VIII and his first wife Catherine of Aragon. When Edward VI became mortally ill, he attempted to remove Mary from the line of succession because of religious differences, but she assembled a force and deposed Jane. She is remembered for her restoration of Roman Catholicism. Her execution of Protestant led to the name of Bloody Mary. So Mary I is also known as Bloody Mary because she ruthlessly killed Protestant people. She cruelly executed everyone who supported Protestantism. That is how she came to known as Bloody Mary. She was supposed to be the ruler after Edward VI according to the rules, but he appointed Lady Jane Grey, so she fought Lady Jane Grey and dethroned her and became the queen. Also, she captivated Elizabeth I, the next ruler of the chain, for 1 year because she thought that Elizabeth is involved in intrigues against her. So she imprisoned her own sister as well. Next came Elizabeth I. She was the Queen of England and Ireland from 1558 to 1603. She was the daughter of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Elizabeth succeeded Mary and set out a rule of good counsel. Her 44 years on the throne provided welcome stability for the kingdom and helped forge a sense of national ability. So she was the next queen. She followed the rule of good counsel. She wanted to work, with good intentions for people. She wanted to work for people, and she ruled for 44 years and changed the face of England completely. She brought all good things. She brought peace, religious tolerance, and development in every possible field. So she was a really good queen. She's also known as Virgin Queen uh, because she didn't marry anyone. She died unmarried. Important events and people. Spanish Armand. In 1558, Philip II of Spain sent fleet to fetch a soldier in the Netherlands and then invade England. He tried to invade England, he tried to attack England, but he was defeated. Next is Duke de Alencon or Duke of Anjou. He was the fourth son of Henry II of France and Catherine de Medici. He successfully courted Elizabeth. He was the first one who successfully courted Elizabeth. He was 24 and Elizabeth was 46 when he did so. Instead of the difference in the age, Elizabeth was very much attracted toward him and she used to call him his frog in a slang way. But they didn't get married in the end, but he was the first one to court her. Next is Mary Queen of Scots, also known as Mary Stuart. She was the Catholic Queen of Scotland and her eyes set on the throne of England. Her son James I succeeded Elizabeth. So she was the one who tried to dethrone Elizabeth as well as marry from dethrone them and to become queen herself. She tried really hard to be the queen of England, but she was not successful in her plan. And after Elizabeth I died, son of Mary, Queen of Scots, succeeded her. He became the next king. Babington plot and Ridolfi plot. These were the plot against Queen Elizabeth. The objective was to kill the queen and put Mary, Queen of Scots, in the throne. So a lot of attempts were made against Elizabeth I. So many plots were constructed against her, but none of that worked, and Elizabeth ruled until she died. Literary features of Elizabethan era. Blank verse was introduced. So blank verse was introduced for the first time. Poets like Edmund Spenser were produced during this time. His poem Fairy Queen was written in the praise of Queen Elizabeth. Spenserian stanza was invented. Other poets like Thomas Sackville Philip Sidney, George Chapman, etc. also produced some commendable works. Drama flourished the most. There was so much development in the drama that it was the highlight of Elizabethan era. The great playwright of all time, Shakespeare, gave his contribution to the literature. The greatest tragedies like Macbeth, Othello and Kinglear were written during this time. Ben Jonson, Beaumont and Fletcher, John Webster, Thomas Heywood, etc. gave the world their great dramas. Prose was flourished during this age, and Francis Bacon was the greatest prose writer of the all time. His 58 essays are still read and are still appreciated, and there was no match of these essays, and he was one of the most quoted writer as well. Other prose writers like Sidney, Relic, Richard Hooker, etc. contributed to the literature as well. So that was all about Elizabethan era. We learned about literary features, political conditions, characteristic of Elizabethan age, and some important people and happening of the age. In further lessons, we will talk about drama, prose and poetry in more details. So if you have any doubts, queries or feedbacks, please do mention them in the comment section, and don't forget to rate, review and share. Thank you.